Most of us women in our 50s, 60s, and 70s, some of our husbands have passed on or we've gotten divorced. We have gotten adjusted to being single. We don't care how good y'all look. We don't care what kind of car y'all driving. We don't care what kind of house y'all got. We don't care what kind of money y'all got in y'all pocket. Because you know what? We are single and we're loving it. We are not going back to cooking. We're not going back to washing your clothes. We don't want y'all asking us where we at and what time we're coming home.
All right, guys, just tapping in a little bit. Bringing to you live from the greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State. The greatest state in the union, the Tar Heel State, guys. I'm leaving the nail spa. I'm just leaving the spa here in the great state of North Carolina. It's got my feet done, my feet did. And, I'm going to take the time, guys, and talk about something that's been perplexing for a lot of men, and how negative social conditioning has impacted a lot of us in a negative way. So you might say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, it's simple. There's an illusion that if you work hard, provide for your wife, provide for your kids, show them love and respect, and there's an illusion that she's going to do it back to you in return. But the reality is this: just because you show acts of kindness, just because you show acts of gratitude, just because you provide and protect, it doesn't mean that they see you the same way. Listen, most modern women in this day and age now, guys, are not raised to serve men. Most are not. Are there a few good quality women that are? Yes. Shout out to all the solid, smart, lively, emotionally regulated, cerebral women that have a love and respect for hardworking men and hardworking families. But the illusion is that women by nature or by default are benevolent creatures devoid of bad behavior. Now, if you don't believe me, I want you to watch this quick clip and video of this old gentleman, and I'll make you make your own decision. So watch this real quick.
That's the problem. Y'all expect me to see things the way y'all see things, and I ain't gonna never see things the way y'all see things, because I lived a different life. To you, that's your nana, that's your grandma. She ain't nothing like that to me. Y'all like to say, Big Mama always made a way. She may not have had no money, but she found a way to make a way. She didn't find no way to make a way. She made her way over to that bedroom and picked up that money off that nightstand. That moo-moo she wears, she flip it up. Now you go in there and ask her, Grandma, how'd you make a way? Why you think my work uniforms was hanging up on that clothesline and I ain't never once lived over there? That Cadillac pull up, she know what time it is. That's why y'all have ass in the bed. Now go ask your grandma about that. So everybody wanna exaggerate. Your grandma sat her ass in that juke joint, sipping on water, waiting on a player to buy her a drink. She ain't have no money for no drink. She want to hear her favorite song. She ain't got no money for the jukebox. That's what your grandma was in there doing. Waiting on a nigga with a van with a fifth wheel on back and a little bitty ladder. That's what your grandma was doing. Sometimes we ain't even make it to the house. She be in the back of that van. I pull up to the damn juke joint. Somebody already been and got her. I see that van just a rocking and a rocking. I know your grandma was in there getting that rent money. I used to be so happy when the first of the month came up. People think I was happy because it was Black History Month. Now, I knew it was the shortest month of the year, and your grandma wasn't going to have that rent money, and I was going to have me a time. Now, go ask your nana about that. You can't expect me to see the world how you see the world because I lived a different life. You see her as special. I don't see her as special.
So watch this real quick. Now, you guys have seen that video, and from that video, we've been conditioned as men to think that women by nature are benevolent. We thought that our moms were perfect. We thought that some of our grandmothers were perfect. And listen, I'm not saying that this is the case for all grandmothers and mothers. But you know, even the women of yesterday, some of those women were decent women. I think they were better women than now. And one could argue that there's nothing new under the sun, and that's true. There's nothing new under the sun. But the presumption is that women of past, or many times grandmom or your great grandmom or some of those women, even though I think those women were better overall, there still was a contingency that had their mess as well. And so women of the past, they might did their dirt, but they were a lot more discreet. And so the illusion is that women by nature are benevolent. The illusion is that a lot of the women of the past were devoid of promiscuous behavior. And the illusion is that this woman loves you unconditionally and is going to love you until the day you die. And listen, a lot of women secretly, guys, they want the benefits of being married. But some of them, or a percentage of them, don't want to serve you. They expect you to serve them, but they fundamentally don't want to serve you. A lot of these women don't want to serve you. They don't want to honor you, and they only want you for the benefits. And I was somewhat perplexed by a conversation that I had with a woman on Facebook. Her and I got into it a little bit. And then on the Facebook app, I saw things that I found to be highly disturbing because a lot of the women were saying that we are content with being single after 50, 60, and 70. And so a lot of these women, guys, are part of what's called a gray divorce. And after they divorce the man, get half of his assets, or he might die off, the man is reeling. You know, a man is reeling when he's over 50. He's worked hard to get wealth, and this woman divorces him because she's quote unquote tired of him. No fault divorce. He didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes the man didn't do anything wrong, or many times the man didn't do anything wrong. And now this man is broken mentally, and he's broken in a state of distress because he got caught up in the illusion of love. And that's why I tell men all the time, over and over again, to love within reason. I'm not against love in itself, the beauty of love, or the beauty of loving relationships. But you don't never love a woman more than you love yourself as a man, because most women by nature are survivalists. Now, there are some women that will operate in their survivalist mindset, which is carnal. There are some women that practice what's called kosher hypergamy. Kosher hypergamy is fair and proper. But then there are women that practice what's called carnal hypergamy. Carnal hypergamy is highly exploitative. And I will argue that more women than less are more carnal in their hypergamy than they are kosher. Meaning they're not trying to exploit the man. Meaning if they do get a divorce, they're not going to try to destroy them in divorce court. There are some women that are like that. But the illusion that many men have been taught that women are benevolent by nature, that, you know, they are loving, that they love you for who you are, that, you know, they want to support you, they want to love you and worship you and take care of you and treat you well as a man, and that they don't have any malice or forethought. But the reality is that a lot of them do have malice or forethought. A lot of them are tired of serving you, and I'm going to prove it to you at some point. A lot of them are waiting for you to die so that they can get your Social Security check. A lot of them are waiting for you to drop dead so that they can get the benefits. A lot of them are waiting for you to just leave them alone. This woman that was over 50 years old was saying, I'm tired of cooking for you, washing your clothes, and doing everything else. But on the flip side, they expect you to pay all bills, which most don't deserve. They expect you to put your life on the line. They expect you to find a way out of no way. And they expect you to work like a mule to make them happy when most can't be happy due to all the baggage they've had. And so we get caught up in this quagmire as men by thinking that by default, women by nature are going to love you unconditionally. They're going to hold you down unconditionally, that they're going to ride for you unconditionally. And that's an illusion. And an illusion is a cognitive distortion. It's an illusion that's based on the presumption of something that you think is there, but it isn't there. But the sad thing is that a lot of guys, why I'm trying to tell you guys about this video now, is that some of you guys see that she doesn't love you or respect you. Many times I hear of men that have been violated and disrespected by their wives. And they still choose to be in a delusion that that wife can change and that that wife is going to love them, respect them, and honor them. And to be truthfully, a lot of times, if you stay with that woman, it's going to make her lose more respect for you, because she understands subconsciously that it's a major violation to allow another man to use her body in the confines of marriage. So if you stay with her, she's going to respect you, disrespect you more. And so you think that by, like, even with your own kids, you provide for them, you try to show them love, you try to protect them from themselves, you try to protect them from danger, you try to hold them to high esteem, you put your own safety and security and mental wellness on hold for your children. And once they get what they want, they just kick you in the mouth like you don't exist. And so I'm going to tell you, man, on today what you need to start doing. You need to start evaluating yourself better. You need to start loving yourself more. You need to start practicing healthy selfishness. You need to start having what's called healthy boundaries. And you need to start putting these women in your life first. You know, a lot of guys talk about something called girl dads. And, listen, I got all girls. But I don't put my girls at the expense of my own mental wellness. I probably have done a little bit in the past, but I would never do it now, moving forward in the future, because it doesn't benefit a man when he put his own happiness consistently on the back burner for his wife and his kids. Because in relationships, both parties need to benefit. The man benefit, and also the woman, she benefits. But when I heard the comments from these clackling hens about I can't wait till he pass away, or I'm glad he's passed away, and girl, I ain't never getting married again. That's why men don't want to get married no more, because it's a thankless proposition. You got women now that think it's beneath them to serve a man, because by default they think they're better than men. The world that men created for men and women both to benefit from, they think the service to a man makes them less than, because by default they think that they're better than you. And some of you men, you got to change how you think about yourselves. You got to be the change agent within yourself to see that a lot of these women don't see any good deeds in you. They don't see any goodwill in you. Many don't even care about you. They just want you to get caught up in the illusion. I talk with men all the time in private practice about how their wives treat them, how their wives make them feel like they're less than. But you got people that believe in black love, and I'm not against black love, but you cannot have black love until you ask black men what they want. The world has not asked men, white or black, what they want in relationships. And some of you men work your fingers to the bone. Your health is being compromised. You put your life on your line for your kids. You stress yourself out for your kids. You do everything in your power to try to make everybody else happy. But who cares about you? Nobody. If you die today, they won't care about you. They might cry for a few minutes, but they'll go back to their own levels of selfishness, because they're distracted by the world, and they're distracted by their own means and their own needs. That's why I told you guys, by nature, women are very solipsistic, meaning nothing outside of them and their feelings exist. There are only few women in the world that prioritize a man's happiness above their feelings. And those are truly spiritual, godly women, Proverbs 31 women, women that have been raised in traditional families with traditional fathers, women that have not been indoctrinated by liberalism, women that have their own identity and they're not easily persuaded by liberal ideologies, women that have a strong moral constitution, women that practice emotional regulation. Those types of women are more susceptible to honoring you and respecting you as a man. They're more susceptible to honoring you and respecting you as a man. But a lot of women now in modern times, they don't honor you. They're waiting for you to die. They're waiting for you to croak over so she can get that retirement, that Social Security money. She's waiting for you to die so that she can get that pension. She's waiting for you to die so that she can get that Social Security. She's waiting for you to die because she never loved you in the first place. She only saw you as a means to an end. She only saw you as a means to an end because you were never her first husband. Her first husband was the man that imprinted her. And you were just a catch-over. That's why they get so angry at men having these conversations. Because the social media and the internet has given us a whole new foundation about the negative aspects of modern women. And that's why I encourage men to start loving themselves first, because grandmama wasn't as special as you thought she was, based on what this gentleman said. She wasn't as special as you thought she was. She wasn't this benevolent angel. You know, because a lot of times people talk about what granddaddy did, and granddad was a Rolling Stone, granddaddy did this, but grandmama grandmama wasn't always special either. I would argue that grandmoms back then were better overall than women now, yes, but grandma was not by default some benevolent angel. And that's the illusion that we continue to believe and tell ourselves about women, female nature, female psychology. The more you understand that women are just human beings, and this is not to hate women. I love women. I think every man that's listening loves women. But you can't go into a relationship or relationships being blinded. Because a lot of times we project onto women, our daughters, our wives, our sisters, or whatever, we project onto them what our value systems are. That's what we do. We project onto them what our value systems are. We project onto them what we think they should be. We project onto them what they expect us to be. But in reality, that's not how they feel. In reality, that's not what they care about. What they care about is their own selfish feelings, and what they care about is their own selfish desires. If you're a good, righteous woman listening to this, I would encourage you on today to spread the good love of the good news of respect, honor, and dignity for men. The world is in a crisis now. The world is in trouble. People are crashing out all over America. You know, a lot of folks are going to be impacted by this EBT crisis, a food stamp crisis. And if you're a genuine woman that honors and respects your man, salute to you. You're going to be covered. But guys, I want you to be on the lookout for a lot of women now trying to reach back to you and reach back in relationships due to this food stamp crisis and due to what's going on in this crazy, chaotic world, guys. Y'all take care. This is a Kosher Man calling you, bringing it to you live from the state of North Carolina in the Tar Heel State, RDU. Hit the like button, guys. Share the stream, and reflect on what we're talking about. Because once again, they don't love you. She doesn't love you, guys. It's just an illusion.